What is happening, Torontonian, Raptonian, Fanzonians? Oh my God. I was going to start this off with a little tune, bouncing in the club when the heat is on, or lying on the beach till the break of dawn. I'm going to Miami. But you know what I was thinking? I hate Miami. I mean, I hate Miami, Miami Heat. Well, I think I hate Miami Dolphins and or sorry, the uh, Florida Panthers, and are they the Miami Marlins now again? They were the Florida Marlins, Miami Marlins. Anyway, they all suck. Everything about Miami sports sucks. But and I also hate Will Smith. All right. Shout out to Chris Rock. I know you're watching. I met Chris Rock actually at a Super Bowl in Phoenix, Super Bowl 30 many years ago. We were in the NFL experience. Anyway, yes, I called him Pookie. I said, "Hey, Pookie, Pookie, what's up, Pookie?" And we chatted. Anyway, super nice guy. So obviously, I'm on Team Rock rather than Team Jada Pinkett Smith. Sorry, didn't mean to digress and get sidetracked there, but what the hell is going on with the Torontonian Raptors? They are sucking the big one. We all know, though, we've had injuries. It's been a bizarre season. We're at the second last game of the year, both in Miami. Also, a weird scheduling glitch, or maybe somebody asked for that. I don't know. They thought we were going to get this blast of cold. My freaking electricity's been going on. I hope nothing dies here while we're talking. My electricity, I mean, has been going off and on because we got mad, mad windstorms outside, and they're saying that it might even dip down cold enough that we get some snow overnight. Boy, oh boy, living in the Great White North is fantastic, isn't it? We all love it. Meanwhile, I'm talking to my pops who's living down in Florida today, and he's going swimming in the ocean tomorrow because it was, I don't know, 28 Celsius, that is, for if anyone happens to be watching from the US. So, Raptors, yeah, what is going on? We're at the second last game of the year. It's been a tumultuous season. They showed a stat during tonight's game that we have had 30 different players playing in the Toronto Raptors lineup this season. And that is not the most shocking part because, we've had a weird combination, which probably are the things that need to line up for that kind of a stat to happen. Lots of trades, then injuries. So now we've got 10-day contract guys sort of cycling in and out, trying to see if anybody can get something to stick. But they said that was the second most in NBA history. That seems a little extreme. That seems a little extreme. There were a bunch of other stats they rattled off too, which I thought were great, but they were going too quickly, and sadly, I wasn't able to retain them. But that one was the most unique. And then, Miami obviously needed this game way more badly than the Raptors did. The Raptors can't compete. I mean, they were draining a lot of threes. I don't know if actual stats. Did I look at the actual stats? Uh, Where is their 3-point percentage for Miami? Yeah, 41.5 overall. We were 32.3. So they seemed to be hitting, they were doing a good job distributing the ball like crazy. Then they just kept hitting those threes. Tyler Hero was having a night. I don't even know again what his stats were. I'm going fully by the eyeball test. Hero only 17 points, but yeah, 3 of 6. So 50% from three. It seemed like he got into a weird little trying to show off the Grady Dick rivalry there for a minute. But they got a bunch of guys that were up in the 3-point range. Bam Adebayo even was 50%. He only shot one, but yeah, that's their game. They're just killing us. Jimmy Butler was 100%. He hit 2 of his 2. So wah, 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 wah. Effort. Oh, turnovers were also a major problem. Raptors was 17 turnovers versus 4. I mean, come on. Now, it did not help that the refs seemed to have their whistle buried for the Raptors. I don't know. Do they do a total fouls on this stat sheet I'm looking at here? I don't know. They got personal fouls. Raptors with 21. Miami only with 16. But I don't know if that counts. I guess that has to count all the fouls, shooting fouls. So looks like it ended up balancing out. It was really bad by the sort of mid third quarter. But then actually, what? It is true. The Raptors started to get some foul calls. RJ Barrett went to the line a couple times. And so did a couple other Raptors. So anyway, let's go through quickly because I really, really, really want to talk about Gary. Gary, Gary, where are you? What are you doing, Gary Trent Jr.? Why are you making me look like a novice? You're making me look like I don't know what I'm talking about. I still am going to blame some of the head trip things and whatever, but first let's go through just quickly. RJ Barrett, what a game. 35 points. This guy is proving my theory that the Toronto born and raised, I know there's some that seem to have attitude, like I don't know why. Wiggins, seems to want to not embrace the fact that he's Canadian. It's like he doesn't play for Team Canada and doesn't seem to have any interest. In fact, even last time I saw Golden State playing in Toronto, he sat out. He didn't even, he couldn't even be bothered. But that is not the rule. That is, um, just a unique situation with him and whatever God knows what happened in his past. But RJ coming back to Toronto has been killing it. This guy is more efficient than ever. 72% from the field today, like 13 of 18. How great is that? His threes were only okay, 1 of 4. But still, if you're going to give me 35 points and, he had a few turnovers, no steals, no blocks, with 3 assists, 11 rebounds. So he had a nice little double double. 80% from the free throw line. I mean, these are solid numbers. These are, they were asking if he could be a number 2 or 3 on a contending team. I think, obviously tonight that could definitely be a number 2. I mean, if you're going to get 35, I mean, you could be a number 1 scorer for crying out loud on a winning team. If you're going to have this stat line every night, I don't think this is where his, sort of consistency level is going to be at. But he seems to be around the 20 to 25. He's averaged over 20 this season. They were saying also on the broadcast, and so this is a very, very positive thing. I'm very excited to see an entire season with Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, Jakob Pertl, if he can stay not injured and he decides to stay, well, I guess we're going to sign anyways for next year. Um, but from there, that's the question. So I already teased a little bit with Gary Trent Jr. Do we want to keep Gary Trent Jr.? I have been a huge Gary Trent Jr. supporter. I've been saying this guy sometimes shows he's got skills like I don't know, with no ceiling. He's a bucket getter, as they say on the broadcast. And so, looking at the stats tonight, looking at the last few games, even it's not just tonight. It's I have been watching the games. I've been unable to maybe post a video here and there because I got other crazy stuff going on. I'm having to go into the office and commute, and anyways, therefore go to bed early and wake up way too early, which wow for me. So please like and subscribe. Help me get out of my job. My day job sucks. I would much rather be, focused 100% Raptor updates, getting you guys info. But anyways, sorry, I know we got a long way to go before that's the case. But Gary Trent Jr., this man played 28.39 minutes in the game today. He was 3 of 13 from the field for a whopping, I'm sure you guys can all do the math in your head on there, but it's 23.1% field goal percentage. He's got 1 of 7 from 3. Again, I always sort of tell my children when we're watching these sports together, efforts and all that sort of stuff. But at some point, you do need a little bit of results. I mean, I really, really believe that I could go 1 for 7. I think I could. I could definitely go 0 for 7, which is not far off being 1 for 7. You know what I'm saying? And my son, who plays on his high school team, he could definitely go 1 of 7 from the floor. He was. What else? Let's just quick look. No offensive rebounds, 1 defensive rebound, so 1 rebound total, obviously. 1 assist, which actually was a decent little pass. I think that was a little pass over to Dick. 1 turnover, which isn't bad, and 2 personal fouls, but 7 points, and he's a -5. Again, I know plus minus. Basketball's not as telling as it is, in hockey or some other sports, but Gary, what is going on with you, my friend? I think he's mental. I think he's stressed. I think the season is coming to an end and it's starting to become a reality that's going to have to make a decision as to which team he's going to go to, which I don't know why we didn't alleviate this stress. Now, maybe Masai and Bobby Webster, have the formula. I don't know if you can hear the wind outside. My God, my house might be blown down. Um, Maybe they've got the right formula. Maybe they're messing with this dude and they're gonna show stats like this and go, "You really think you need 25 million? You think you need 27 million?" I mean, I looked it up. He is sitting at 18,560 this year. Gary, I mean, we've got Jakob coming back at 19.5. I think we offer Gary 19.5. I think we offer Gary 19.5 because here's my argument of why I do believe that I think we should sign this dude. I mean, even though, like I said, if he's going to play like this, we're going to look like, we don't know what we're doing. Like we're just throwing money down the toilet. But I personally believe that this guy is one of the more cerebral, in his head guys. He's got his dad was a player. His dad's at a bunch of the games too, so that's still in his mind. Like, oh God, I gotta please dad. I gotta live up to dad's expectations. I gotta do all these things. Um, and so, yeah, I just think that we got to get this guy signed to at least let's do a 3-year contract with him. We could do a 2+ team option, I suppose. Maybe he'll want a 2+ player option, which again, it's not the worst. You know, 19.5. Let's do it. I mean, I would even probably go to 22, maybe 23, because it's not my money. And I think this man has potential. And I think that if he's locked into a contract and he's not in his head worrying about all of the uncertainty, he'll step up and he'll play better. I don't think we want to try and do a sign and trade because, I don't know. Again, obviously, we don't have a privy to all the offers that are out there potentially. So maybe it's something that makes sense if the right deal came along. But why would we do that anyway? Nobody's going to want to pay him over like, a bird right situation where we would have to be the one getting him under a contract. So yeah, I would sign Gary Trent Jr. for this reason alone because I was looking at I've been talking a little bit about this anyway, because obviously we're all now end of the season. We're looking forward to this draft. Are we going to end up with our draft pick? Again, I don't totally understand, but I think I've come to the conclusion that we're going for our draft pick now because if we can get it, it should be an early-ish pick. And then why not add, even if it's in a weak draft, an early-ish pick to the Scotty Barnes timeline? Okay, that makes sense because hopefully next season there's no way we're going to end up being this bad, and that we do at least make the play in, if not try to get to sixth. So okay, all right, I'm starting to understand it because anyway, all I've been hearing about is weak draft, and then we're trying to tank to keep our pick, which but yeah, it makes sense in the long run, I suppose, and that's what I was being short-sighted and thinking that we could just be Crapperino next year with the pick and then still get a decent player. Um, so here's what I think we should be looking towards for next year. I got in my starting lineup. Now, obviously, who knows what pick we get? And then there's a whole side conversation about do we go for Bronny? Maybe closer to the draft. I'm going to do a little insight video on that of how LeBron, LeBronto. Imagine if he actually came and became LeBronto. If LeBronto was just something that the universe drummed up when they used to stomp on us every year and pour DeMar DeRozan uh, and Kyle Lowry back then and Jakob. No, oh come on, who was the big Eastern European guy that we had? Jonas Valanciunas. Oh my God, poor Jonas Valanciunas. Remember that game? Remember the one where it was like the Eastern Conference Finals, for Christ's sake. I'm not sure. Like it was the ball was just bouncing up to the rim and back and up and back. And like I think Jonas had like 4 or 5 chances of putting it back. And then there was another Raptor maybe that tapped it a couple of the times and they couldn't score. And then LeBron comes down and he bounces it off the glass on the angle. Just like the dagger. Anyway, I think that was when the LeBronto moniker was created. But imagine if we could get him back. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. We're gonna get into that down the road. So I'm talking for next year. My lineup and why I'm saying we need to sign Gary Trent Jr. is I don't think Grady Dick is quite there. I was going through some positives here. Grady Dick, 2 of 5 from 3, 40%, ended up with 8 points. yesterday or the last game, he really had a nice career high, I think 25, 6 threes or something crazy. So this guy's showing that he's got potential. I mean, obviously the other teams are starting to defend against him, but if we had a proper lineup going, then I think we're going to still be able to get greedy, take open shots. But I think he needs maybe one more year just to work on his catch and shoot, and coming around the office screens and all that sort of thing. He still needs to figure out, how the NBA offense works, and maybe even fill out a little bit. Um, because yeah, he's a little bit too thin. So anyway, so I don't quite think he's ready to start next year. Is my point. So I'm going with Scotty Barnes is my power forward. I got Jakob at center, obviously. I've got RJ Barrett as my small forward. Then I believe that the right thing to do is to get Mr. Gary Trent Jr. back on this team, because also we don't have the best luck signing free agents. I mean, Jalen McDaniels not going good, and we still have him for another season. Uh, so Gary Trent Jr., let's sign him. Let's re-sign him. Then we got Emmanuel quickly as our point guard, obviously. So those are our starting five. Pretty solid. Like I'm telling you, I think that starting five with a semi decent supporting cast, which we're going to go through in 2 seconds, makes the play in for sure. Possibly a sixth. I mean, obviously, it depends on how the rest of the Eastern Conference goes and all that sort of stuff. But as my sort of rest of the rotation, I've got Kelly Olynyk. Obviously, he's already re-signed, so he's here. I think Agbaji shows some decent, even in tonight's game, he was 50% from three. I mean, he wants to be a 3 and D guy. I saw some decent defense from him. There's still a little weird awkwardness sometimes on a couple of hesitations, but he's a younger guy. He was a top prospect, early pick. I think let's give him some room to grow. And because it's not like we're going to win the whole thing next year, even if we make it into the playoffs. Obviously, we're talking like a 3, 4, maybe 5 year timeline here before we're ending and thinking about taking the chip. So I got Olenek, Agbaji. Now the other weird thing though is Noara. I hear commentary from the coaching staff that Noara, they think he's got potential. And even when we got him, there was tweets and whatever back and forth. Like, finally, you're here. There's a whole backstory about us wanting Noara. Then he only gets 3 minutes and 53 seconds in this game. Pretty much zeros across his whole stat line. But I was watching the game wondering, like, why is Freeman Liberty in this game? Why is Williams in this game? I don't know. Don't we want to sort of see more of Nora? Like, if Brown's in, I'm hoping that we're showcasing him, because I'm hoping he's not back. I hope we trade him. A little spoiler, jumping ahead here on my list. But yeah, Liberty, is he going to be our guy of the future? Like, this guy's 1 of 5, 0 for 3 from three. I mean, he hit both his free throws, but 4 points, really, and one bucket, like in 15 minutes on the floor. Mark Williams up there 19 minutes. He's 0 for 2, doesn't even attempt three. I don't understand why these guys are getting minutes. But anyway, maybe there's something behind the scenes and they're just trying to figure out who's going to be that deep bench for next year after they decide that. So like I was saying, I have Nawara as I think he's a shooting guard. Is he a three? Is he a 2 or a 3? I don't know. I think of him as a 2 because of his 3-point ability he's shown in some of the games that he's gone off in. And I hope that if we can sort of mine that, develop that, curate, no, curate, that's not the right word. And I don't know. Anyway, develop, I guess, is what I'm going with. Something better will come to me in a second. Put a better comment in there if you want. So I got Nawara at shooting guard is where I put him. And then, yeah, these are where I've got some question marks here. Like, I'm saying, Williams, what are we doing with Williams? He's not going to be a rotation piece, but is he even staying? And Jalen McDaniels, like, are we getting this guy in? Bruce Brown, I would like to trade away for something, anything. I don't know. Do we package him and a pick and try and get something decent? Maybe a backup point guard, because this is where my list it says we need Dick, so I need Dick in the second unit. All right. So I got Olenek, Akbaji, Nawara. I've got Dick as my well. He could play the three on the second unit. Um, doesn't really matter if Nawara and Dick go back and forth from shooting guard to three. We're kind of going with positionless basketball these days, anyways. But I think Scotty Barnes, maybe, they like that sort of Barnes hanging with the second unit and then maybe playing the point guard there. That's what I think we should do. A nine man. Obviously, once in a while, we can have a I don't know, whoever the hell is left on the team coming up. Obviously, it's not going to be Jonte Porter, maybe Boucher. I mean, he's signed for next year. I'd like to see Boucher get some minutes again. I mean, he's a Canadian guy and all that other stuff. Mo G, is he going to be here? I don't know if this DJ Carlton guy or Carton is going to be sticking around. But anyway, that's my nine-man rotation with another few here and there once in a while, getting a few minutes in there. Someone's in foul trouble, maybe you're going a little deeper. Um, Somebody's not feeling well, they're under the weather, they're just throwing up bricks. Maybe you're bringing in this 10th, 11th guy. But yeah, I'm going with Scotty Barnes, Jakob Bertel, RJ Barrett, Gary Trent Jr., Emmanuel Quickly, Kelly Olynyk, Agbaji, Noara, and Dick. That's my nine. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Raptors sadly lose to Miami Heat 125 to 103. The last game of the season is going to be on Sunday again against Miami, which is just brutal because, as I've already stated, not a lover of the Heat. They're planning to try and get into the play-in. Are they going to make it back to the finals again? I seriously hope not. I hate all this Heat culture, blah blah blah. But maybe again, it's just jealousy. The Raptors are supposed to be a winning culture. We're supposed to be cultivating. Maybe that's the word I was looking for earlier with uh, whatever the hell I was talking about. Dick cultivating. Yes, I think we were cultivating dicks earlier. Yeah, please get Bruce Brown out of here. Trade this guy for something, anything. He did another one of those weird turnovers. Actually, let me just quickly check. How many turnovers did they credit him with? Two. I swear he gets more than like they don't count some. There's like the scorekeeper is getting paid off by him or something because but then funny enough, as I criticize him, he's 5 of 6 from the floor, 83% from the field. It's not bad. And he was 2 of 2 from three, and he hit both of his free throws. So again, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we need to keep this guy. Maybe he's the glue of the second unit. Please, again, let me know what you guys think in the comments. But I think we got to get Bruce Brown out of here. I mean, even when you're looking at the timeline, I keep sort of putting that in my mind too. He doesn't fit in the timeline of Scotty Barnes. This guy's only 27, I think. So again, I don't know. I'm not at the Raptors office, obviously. If you can interview this guy and he says he's loving it here and all this sort of stuff, then maybe keep him. Does the other players get along with him? Maybe keep him. But I say no. I say get anything that we can for this guy, and let's get him out of here. So anyway, that is my recap of the second last game of the season. The flipping Heat, I already said, beat us 125 to 103. It's so depressing because at the very beginning of the game, we were actually kind of hanging around for a little bit. I mean, by the middle of the first quarter, it was obviously not going to go our way. We maybe came back a couple of times to sort of pretend like we were going to get into it, but uh, again, and maybe they don't want to. We're probably been told down from the side. That's why Noir is not playing, and some of these other guys are getting a bunch of minutes, like Freeman, Liberty, and Williams. I'm sure they're assessing them, but they're probably trying to just ensure that we get under Memphis for that number 6 pick, so that we don't have to give it up this year to the San Antonio Spurs and let them grab another piece to go with Rookie of the Year Wembanyama. Jesus Christ! All right, sorry, didn't mean to curse. Mr. Beast for president. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate your guys' support. Like, subscribe, comment, please. Some of the comments are hilarious, but I love them to see them, and I think somehow it helps, put the thing in front of more viewers. So See you guys on Sunday. And until then, have a beautiful weekend. Ciao.